To use Google Classroom with Anecdotal Notes, don't log in with your private email address, or if you have and you've added an account for your Mount Royal account, log out as your private email address and log back in as your Mount Royal address. That way, when you click on the grid or the waffle, then the tools here, like in the third section, the first one, Classroom, will be the Mount Royal Classroom as opposed to your private one. So click on Classroom. The very first time you click on it, it'll ask you if you're a teacher or a student. Choose Teacher. And then you'll have a plus that you'll be able to add a class with. Click on that plus and choose Create Class. Then type in the name of your class in this section. And then put a space and then put in the year or the semester. So the semester starts with the year, and then 0 for credit, and then it's 1 for winter, 2 for spring, 3 for summer, and 4 for fall. In my case, it's fall, so I'm going to put a 4 and then create. This will take a minute to do. Once it's done, you might get a tutorial to explain the different parts of Google Classroom, and you're welcome to do it if you want. I've exited the tutorial because I want to jump into classwork. And I'm going to create the first week's anecdotal notes. So I'm going to click on Create an Assignment and Week 1 Anecdotal Notes. Now your course coordinator should have given you a template, an anecdotal note template in Google Doc format that's saved in your Google Docs. If that's true, you can continue with this tutorial. If they've only given you a Word document, then pause this tutorial and watch my other tutorial about how to convert a Word document into a Google Doc. If they haven't given you any one, then just pause the tutorial and email them and ask for a template. Let's continue as though I had a template, because I do in my case. So click on this triangle. It's the Google Drive triangle. And I'm going to go to My Drive. And here's the template that I have that I'm going to be using. And then I'm going to click on Add. And then I have to scroll down a bit. In my case, it's not graded. I'm going to change it to ungraded. I do have a due date, though. I'm going to set the due date to 1 week from today. And then an important part to add is it should change from students can view file to make a copy for each student. If you've accidentally hit assign without making this change, then you're just going to have to delete the assignment and redo it, making this setting make a copy for each student, and then hit assign. Now in a separate tutorial, I'm going to show you how to load your students in here, how to invite your students to join the class. But in my case, I already have a student that's joined, and I want to show you what it looks like. The student will see that they're assigned this week 1 anecdotal notes. So they're going to click on it, and then in a minute it's going to load right here. Right now it's still loading. There it is. It's going to load the assignment. I'm going to click into it, and then at first all they put is their name. And then they turn it in. It's in the upper right beside the share button, because you're going to do the next step, which is giving them instructions. So they'll hit turn in, and they'll say, yes, I want to really turn it in. And then now the instructor, when they click into this week 1 anecdotal notes, and by the way, they'll get an email telling them that somebody has turned them in. It hasn't arrived yet, but it will. But if they click on it, they'll see that one is turned in. And here it is, one that has been turned in. And I can see the name on it. I can expand and get rid of this side area if I don't want it by just clicking on this caret arrow. And then now I can replace the text here with what I really want. Now the default is to have suggesting mode, to make suggestions, which is good when you're marking essays. But I want to change that to editing, because I actually want to delete these instructions and type in the place sample instructions for my student. Now I'm going to return it to the student, and I hit return. So now I'm back to being a student, and they will have received an email as well telling them that they have it returned, and they can open it up and they can see the document as it exists right now. If they scroll down, they can see these instructions, and now they can put in sample feedback about following the instructions. And then they can turn it in for real now. And then click on Turn In. So here is the email that I received as the instructor letting me know that it was resubmitted. So I'm going to click on it, and I can go into it directly and then click on the document that they have submitted. I'm going to expand my workspace, and here it is, the sample feedback that they have sent back to me. And I could make a comment, a private comment right on this document here, or I could add more instructions below, presumably in edit mode. I'm going to put the comments here, but I'm not obliged to. It depends on what the course coordinator asks you to do. But I'm going to post this, and then now I'm going to return the final one to my student so they can see my feedback. And that's how to make 1 week. And you can repeat this for each week.